Thank you, Rodney. There we go. Thank you, Rodney, as we're ready to go out here today. Thanks for joining us. An exciting first game. Chiefs get the walk-off. They'll look for another one in Game 2. We've got post-game fireworks coming up as well, and you can go up and buy tennis balls, raise money on the Pitch In for a Charity for the East Peoria Express softball, and we'll have the Pitch In for a Charity as we get ready for the fireworks this evening. As Rodney mentioned, we do have a shining star here tonight. We'll get to that presentation and the video that we have for that in just a moment, but joining me with the shining star from Washington High School is the wrestling coach, Nick Miller, and every year you guys come out here because every year you guys win a state championship and did it again, and we've got a nice contingent of your wrestlers that are out here and back-to-back-to-back, the three-peat, and you guys have had a couple of months now to reflect on that. What does that mean to you and the program to win another state title?
I think the big thing for us looking at the back-to-back-to-back is just the consistency, not just from season to season. Wrestling's a winter sport, but the kids in our program that really push us to that level, they're year-round, and that's that's probably the big thing that sticks out. We got a small number here tonight just because we've got a handful of kids out competing in different areas of the country, and so that consistency of what the program has been built around and stands for is I think that's, if there's a secret to the success, that's it.
And the whole athletic department has that success too. I know you guys are one of the many schools in this area that preaches the multiple athletes or multiple sports for the athletes. They don't just concentrate on one sport, and you guys have got that too. And I know the baseball team's playing tonight and out there in the sectional. Obviously, other sports have had fantastic years, not just this year, but in the past years. As a coach, what's that like for your guys? And then you get a chance to go root them on if they're doing track and field or they're doing baseball or if they're playing football before your season starts, and just support them in everything they do.
You look at Washington's athletic program, like you said. Our football program had a semifinal year. Basketball program had a successful year. I think the big thing is within the school, we've got a great culture amongst our coaches, and our coaches support each other and our different ventures. And I got 3 kids at home. Wrestling keeps me pretty busy, so I can't say I get out as much as I'd like to see the other activities, but very aware of what's going on. And we've got connections. Actually, we've got one here tonight. Former wrestler of ours, Trey Keeley. He was a member of the first championship team, or the first that wrestled the runner-up team, and his sister is actually on the softball team, right, who is doing well tonight. So it's a tight-knit community in the athletic community and in Washington in general. So it's pretty neat to see the constant success through all the programs there.
We've got, I think, 8 of our players that live in Washington. You mentioned the Keeleys. They're one of our host families. We've got 4 host families out there in Washington. So our players live out there and are part of your guys' community during the season as well, which is nice to have. They love it and get out there in the restaurants and all that and have some fun and enjoy the area on their off days. So Washington has opened their houses to our players too, and we appreciate that. And some of your guys I know have interacted with our players in doing that over at the Keeley house. So that's been pretty cool for them as well.
Keeley House is kind of an open household for anyone who's been attached to that family anyway. It's actually Don Keeley owes the wrestlers some wings at some point. So we're going to get the wrestlers over to his house for wings one night.
Those might all be in Iowa City from what I see on social media. I don't know if he brings them back from those football games.
He makes the same wings for us. They are legendary, no doubt.
Yeah, there you go. I see all those on social media at the football grill out, so ready to go. But your guys' program, you talk about being a benchmark program in this area, different sports, and for wrestling, that's you guys now. How do you keep that going?
Just the same thing, consistency. It's we talk every year with our all of our kids, our underclassmen. The junior class of this year is really the group that we focus on. Is you guys have had 2 years to kind of watch it. Your junior year, you get to really thrive in it, and then your senior year is go drive the ship. And I think if we can continue that consistency through all 4 of our classes and keep those kids. It's the buy-in. Once we got kids bought in, I'll be honest, our first 8-10 years coaching prior to the state championships, that was the toughest years.
Yeah.
It was creating that culture and getting the athletes to buy in the way they bought in now. And now it's just keep those kids on that line, and when it's time to hand them the keys to drive, then they got to be ready to take them. And I think, there's a lot of things in place. Great coaching staff. I'm blessed to have a great coaching staff there, all the way down to our youth program. And then you just keep going with it.
A unique sport where you've got individual success and then you've got the team success too. So how do you approach that? Because you've got guys at different weight classes with different styles. You're not going to go same at 103 as you're going to go at heavyweight and that kind of stuff. So how do you manage that? And then even if a kid loses individually, say, okay, but we still got the team coming up and you got to take care of business there too.
And we've been blessed to have that opportunity to succeed with all those. But I think the real key to our team success is not the wrestlers that if you go out into the community and say, hey, this kid, we've had the Jacob Warners and the Punky family and those kids, they were great attributes to our program, but they never won us a team state title. They were a part of it, but it was the kids that no one knows their name. It was the kid that went out, and I'll throw a couple out that off the top of my head, and I'm sure I'll miss some. Dakota Van Quakebeek was a kid a couple years ago. He was a 500 wrestler for us, and in the state finals went out against a kid that was a state placer and wrestled a really tough match to him, lost the match, but was the hero of that duel in losing a match. And that's the really neat thing about the team competition. It is an individual sport, and those kids are going to get their accolades and they're going to get their moment to shine in the sport, but the team portion is really neat for me. It's awesome to watch, and this year's team, I've been, with the program for many years. I was an assistant coach prior, first year as a head coach this year. This team this year, the way that they came together and fought for each other when we got to the team competition was just amazing to watch. And we knew we had the individual talent and success, but to watch the way they came together with each other was pretty special. And that's the job now, is to try to duplicate that same thing going forward. So
you got 10 kids out here tonight. I know we got a couple state medalists. Who's throwing the first pitch? Who do you pick?
We actually have a former, he's a graduating senior that was a baseball player. So I thought, all right, if we're going to have someone throw the pitch, we should probably go to the baseball player.
Okay. So
it's Hayden Jackson is going to throw our first pitch.
Is there pressure on him from the wave? All right. You got pressure? You're good?
He's ready.
Just a little bit of pressure. But if he bounces it, the rest of the guys over there are going to be all over him, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure. He'll never – it's a good thing he's a senior if he does, because he'll have a hard time living it down.
Which guy over there will give him the hardest time if he doesn't throw a strike?
Ooh, I'm going to go with Justin Fernald.
Okay. And I know you got he's giving you the thumbs up. I know you got one guy who didn't get here in time, but was a state champion today. So give him or state champion this year, I should say, not today, but give him a shout out, and we'll get to the others as we do this intro.
Jace Punky was he had to actually go work for his grandma today and was doing some work for her and got
way more important.
But Jace was a real good. He actually was a 220-pounder as a junior. Was actually. Could have been a 220 this year and bumped up and won a state title at heavyweight this year. Nice. So he was 235, wrestling 285 most of the year, and came out with a state title. And so he had a great season, and to be a senior for us next year and be a team leader. So
sounds good. Well, hopefully we'll see you out here again next year. And thanks
for
your time.
So.
Congratulations on another state title. All right, Washington Wrestling. Patrick, Liz, why don't you guys start the video? We'll make it over to home plate. We'll introduce these guys. We've got a video of the Washington Wrestling season and all the success they had.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Blake's really excited to get back here. I know he really enjoyed his time here, great parts of 3 seasons here with the organization. What I got from him was that, here is where he really started to make a name for himself in the Cubs organization. He was a non-drafted guy. He's kind of worked his way up through the system, and here is where he started doing that. Obviously, he was able to be under the head coach or manager, obviously, of Ryan Sandberg, so he really enjoyed his time here for that. So he's been here already this year, but